días, queridos alumnos de Cela Spanish School Online. Today, in our video lesson, we will talk about some basic elements of Spanish grammar that are very important when learning Spanish. These are concepts that we may have learned in school, but don't really remember anymore. Refreshing them will help us a lot when learning Spanish. Also, the reason of the most common mistakes will become clear to us. This video is part of the material of our distance learning Spanish courses with teacher support. This video is also available in Spanish. I recommend downloading this video. You will probably need it occasionally. Let's start. In this video, we will answer the following questions. What is a verb? What is a noun? How to know which is the subject in a sentence? Here we mean the grammatical subject and not the word subject as topic or theme. What exactly is an adjective? What is an adverb? What is a pronoun? How can you identify the direct and indirect object? The grammatical subject in a sentence is the person, animal, or thing doing the action. The one who performs the action. For example, María trabaja en una oficina. María works in an office. The action is trabajar. The verb is the word that expresses the action. Who does the action? Who works? María. María is the person who does the action and is the subject in the sentence. In Spanish, the subject is already indicated in the verb conjugation. That is why it is usually not mentioned. La oficina está en el centro. The office is located in the center. What is in the center? La oficina. La oficina is the subject in the sentence and does the action. There are actions that are more active, like trabajar, work. You can visualize the activity, and other actions like ser or estar, to be, tener, have, or I, there is, where you can't visualize the activity. But they are still actions. They are verbs. En el centro is just a place indication. Here we have another example. Soy profesora. I am a teacher. In Spanish, professions have no article. ¿Quién es profesora? Yo. Yo is the subject and is already included in the verb conjugation. Unlike in English, we don't use a personal pronoun. We don't say yo soy profesora, which sound redundant, unless we want to emphasize yo. In the third person, we sometimes have to use the pronoun or the person, because there are several options for the third person. Él, he, ella, she, usted, you, formal. Trabaja could refer to él, ella, usted, María, etc. So, we only use a personal pronoun when there are several possibilities for the subject, otherwise not. This is a very big difference with English. This sentence is a little more difficult. In ¿Qué hay en la maleta? What is in the case? ¿Qué or what is the subject of the sentence? ¿Qué hay? En la maleta is just a location. The subject of a sentence does not necessarily have to be at the beginning. Therefore, it is always important to read the sentences to the end, especially in the grammar exercises, like here. Who or what is coming? ¿Quién viene? El electricista. El electricista viene hoy. To find the subject of a sentence, we must first find the verb and ask it who or what is doing the action. Now, let's briefly explain what an adjective is and what an adverb is. The adjective tells us what a person, animal, or thing is like. An adverb tells us how an action is done. El sofá es cómodo. The sofa is comfortable. Here we have a noun, el sofá. We have the verb ser. ¿Qué es cómodo? El sofá. El sofá is the subject in the sentence and cómodo is the adjective. We do not necessarily need a verb. El sofá cómodo also forms a unit, the comfortable sofa. El sofá is an exception because the word ends in a but is not feminine but masculine. El sofá. As we know, words ending in a are mostly feminine. Words ending in o are mostly masculine. And words ending in other letters have no rule. I recommend you to watch again the video about the genus of the words in Spanish in our channel. I will put the link in the description of this video. Since the adjective refers to a noun or a person, it matches the gender of the noun or the person. If the adjective in its original form ends in o, it changes in gender and number. If it ends in another letter, only in number. For example, la cama es cómoda. ¿Cómo es la cama? cómoda. Cómoda is an adjective. An adverb explains how an action is done. Therefore, it does not change. El bebé duerme cómodamente. ¿Cómo duerme el bebé? Duerme cómodamente. The adverb never changes. If we turn the sentence into the plural, it would be like this. Los bebés duermen cómodamente. The adverb does not change. The pronouns replace a noun or a proper name. For example, él es mi hermano. Él replaces a name. For example, Pedro. There are many types of pronouns. Subject pronoun, possessive pronoun, reflexive pronoun, object pronoun. In our channel, there are several videos about this topic. I will write the links in the description of this video. Now, I want to explain something very, very important. It is a mistake that we correct very often. An object pronoun like lo, la, los, las, le, les, me, te, nos, os can never be the subject in a sentence. Let's see an example. Mi apartamento es bonito. My apartment is beautiful. The subject of the first sentence is mi apartamento. ¿Qué es muy bonito? Mi apartamento. Mi apartamento is the subject of the sentence. ¿Cómo es mi apartamento? How is my apartment? Muy bonito. Bonito is an adjective, and muy is an adverb that enhances the adjective. We have a video about adjectives and adverbs in our channel. In the second sentence, está en el centro, the subject is also mi apartamento. ¿Qué está en el centro? Mi apartamento. Lo is a direct object pronoun and cannot be used as subject in a sentence. In Spanish, the structure of these sentences is: mi apartamento es bonito, está en el centro. In the second sentence, the subject is no longer mentioned. Since this is impossible in English, we can't say in English, my apartment is very nice, is in the center. We look for something to put in and translate the word it from English with lo in Spanish. It only corresponds to lo if it is direct object in a sentence, like in I buy it. That would be yo lo compro. But the subject is compro and lo is direct object. If it is clear from the preceding sentence to whom the verb refers, the subject is no longer mentioned. This is how it is in Spanish. It is a problem because it is not like that in other languages. We have to pay attention to it and practice it as we do in our courses. Now, let's talk about other elements in the sentence. Te compro una mandarina. I buy you a tangerine. Now, let's find the subject of the sentence. Who does the action? Who buys? ¿Quién compra? Yo compro. Yo is already included in the verb conjugation. Through the ending o, I know that it refers to yo, first person singular present. Now we have the subject, but we have another element, una mandarina. Una mandarina is not subject in this sentence. It is object. ¿Qué compro yo? What am I buying? Una mandarina. In this sentence, una mandarina is direct object. I also have te. Te is para ti, for you. Yo compro una mandarina para ti. Para ti or a ti becomes te. This is the indirect object. The indirect object or dative is the person or also the thing that is affected by the action, that receives the action. It is usually a person and answers to the question, to whom or for whom do I buy? In Spanish, it is not always easy to distinguish the objeto directo from the objeto indirecto when referring to a person. Because when a person is not the subject in the sentence, the preposition a always comes before it. For example, veo a mi vecino. The verb is ver. Sí. ¿Qué o quién ve? Who does the action? Yo veo. Veo. The subject is included in the verb conjugation. Mi vecino, my neighbor, is a person, but he is not the subject in this sentence. The subject is yo. Therefore, we need to put the preposition a in front of mi vecino. Here we have another example. Visito a mis padres el fin de semana. The verb is visitar. ¿Quién visita? Yo visito. Subject, yo. Mis padres is not the subject in this sentence. They are persons, so I have to put a in front of them. El fin de semana indicates a time period. Luisa llama a su madre. The verb is llamar, to call. Subject, Luisa. She does the action. Su madre is a person who is not the subject of this sentence. So, I have to put a in front. This is also a very common mistake when learning Spanish because it doesn't happen in other languages. So, very important. When a person is not a subject in the sentence, the preposition a always comes before it. But attention, this only applies to persons, but not to things. For example, veo la televisión. La televisión is a thing. Veo a mi vecino is a person. Let's also talk briefly about prepositions. Prepositions are a complicated subject in all languages because they cannot be translated literally. Their usage depends on several factors. For example, the meaning of a verb and the function of each word in the sentence. But prepositions are words and words have a meaning. The prepositions explain the connection between different words. The preposition a means movement in time and place, and often comes together with verbs of motion like the verb ir. Voy a casa de Juan. The preposition en could be the opposite of a. There is no movement, and therefore it is often used together with the verb estar. Estoy en mi casa. It also often means inside. La cerveza está en la nevera. The preposition de has many meanings. Among others, we use de as a possessive particle, la casa de Juan, or for the material from which something is made, la casa de madera, el vaso de plástico, etc. I think we did a good review of the main grammatical categories. We just need a little bit of grammar to help us learn Spanish and understand the cause of our mistakes. Mistakes are normal and part of the process of learning a language. They are mostly the same for all Spanish learners. Now, we do some exercises together. We identify the subject in following sentences. We must always ask ourselves this question: who or what does the action? Who or what is the subject of the sentence? Los alumnos estudian la lección. ¿Quiénes estudian? Los alumnos. La lección es direct object. ¿Qué estudian los alumnos? La lección. En la tienda aceptan dólares. The subject is ellos, they, and is not mentioned because it is already indicated in the verb conjugation. En la tienda is only a place, and dólares is direct object. ¿Qué aceptan ellos? Dólares. Mañana viene el electricista. Subject is el electricista. ¿Quién viene? ¿Quién viene mañana? El electricista. The subject does not have to be at the beginning of the sentence. So always read or listen to the whole sentence first. Mañana tomamos café. Subject, nosotros. When we have only one verb form for a personal pronoun, as in yo, tú, nosotros, and vosotros, we usually do not use a personal pronoun. The subject is indicated in the verb conjugation. ¿Qué hay en la maleta? Here, the subject is ¿qué? And en la maleta is a place. Mi dinero está en la maleta. ¿Qué está? Mi dinero. Mi dinero is the subject in the sentence. If we are not sure which is the subject in a sentence, we can also change the verb conjugation to a different person and see which word would also change. This can be done if you already know some Spanish. Muy bien. In our distance Spanish courses with teacher support, we have many interesting exercises and activities on these and other topics. I invite you to visit our website and say, chao, hasta la próxima clase.